welcome back to The Witness. As promised, we're now going to do a detailed look of everything that I missed, revealing I am a complete dum-dum. I missed heaps. So if you haven't played this before, don't watch this video. I am going to ruin everything. So this is not a blind run. This is a complete, detailed, read up on everything look of The Witness. So The Witness is done by a developer who made the Braid, Jonathan Bloom. And I want you to imagine for a moment that this is not a real island, but if you ever seen Sherlock Holmes, this is a mind palace. Yes, we are a synapse to Jonathan Bloom's mind palace. We are The Witness. And the Witness is all about connections, making connections, the need to make connections, and how perception has a big part in that. It's about needing to connect with a higher source, the creator, or not finding that higher source as well, because it has a lot of atheist undertones as well, which we will deal with a bit later, well, in other episodes. But today I'm just going to show you all the secrets about the entry area, and so we're going to look at from a synapse points of view, Jonathan Bloom's theories on life, and we begin right at the beginning, where life, as far as we know it, before we were born, there was black, and there was only black, and then suddenly we appear in a tube, a test tube, or maybe this is a vagina. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too hard into too much into things. This is a mechanical vagina. Yeah, okay. So basically, once we pop out of the vagina, the first thing we'll notice is a lady. Do you see the lady there? It's got a nose. Now you might think, oh, you're just staring into what is a normal rock, but you'll see a lot of the rocks and perceptions change. So this is Jonathan Bloom's mum. Hello. Got a nice mechanical vagina there, or maybe test tube, I don't know. Anyway, and so we go from and by the way, I forgot, I am showing you all the puzzles, so if you connect those up, so we connect to JB in the sky and thank him for showing us beginnings. And then if you come out here, you'll notice the mountain in the big background there. Now the mountain, of course, kept bringing us back to the start, no matter what we do. And you'll come into a broken down castle. Now I believe this is a symbol for two things. One, sort of family environment. So as we come out of the hospital, we get taken into some sort of family environment. But you'll notice there's a couple of pillars here, which usually stands for like figures in our life, and all these broken down walls. And is it here? No, not here. Often it's a relaxing atmosphere in our home, and we have this emblem here which will play in a part later on, and you have these puzzles which you solve, and you can open up all these rooms as you already know. So there's a couple of things I completely missed in my first and second walkthrough. That is the proper way of solving that. So as you know, you can touch the sun if you don't solve the door problem and bring it down and open up a doorway. We'll talk about that in a second. We also can connect into the sky and say thank you JB, our creator JB, for making flowers. Thank you very much. we connect with you over flowers. And so that's another way. Another environmental puzzle, they call it. So one thing I missed is here. Now you'll notice there's a, if you line it up properly, you got this. Hey, it's an environmental puzzle. But you'll find there's a gap, and you need to solve this puzzle here so that you line that yellow up, and voila. But again, you'll notice you can't get anywhere, and it kind of ends up over here. So remember at the start when I said, hey, is this a puzzle? Yes, it is. Look, see? There's a puzzle there. How crazy is that? So if you follow these lines across, and I think you've got to go here. The idea is to separate the triangles so that there's only two triangles. So basically just turn up where you started, sort of thing. And then kind of turn up again. And just turn up on the places you turn up. It's the easiest way of explaining it. And then you kind of want to go forward and backwards, and I didn't do it right. There you go. So is it that one? I didn't think it was. Might have been, but I just didn't think it was. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I did that wrong. Okay. Yeah, why don't I turn it down? I'm sure I'll solve this puzzle. I'm just getting the end wrong. Okay. And then you go that way. There we go. Alright. So that's how you solve that. Right. Okay, and then... Wow, look at that. You got another puzzle. Now, you actually... When you solve a puzzle, and you get it right, you'll get a white line. We don't want a white line. So, what we want to do is we want to solve it wrong. So we want to... What am I doing here? Oh, that will do. Yeah, that'll do. And then once we solve that, we want to quickly line up before the thing disappears and follow it around. And we want to thank JB in the sky for wrong puzzles. How crazy is that one? Like, seriously, wow. Okay, so that was one thing. Now let's get it right. We've done the exploding puzzle. So basically you just want to follow it. Oh, where am I going? You can actually get... Oh, I've done it again. You can actually solve it more than one way here. I don't know if that makes a difference. Like, I can solve it that way. Or I can solve it and it just goes kaboom. Oh, I can't even solve this one. I don't understand what the difference is. That's still something I haven't worked out yet. So if anyone knows what the heck that does, can you please message me? So it's nearly all the secrets of the entry area. I have no idea what that does. Anyway, okay. So as I said, this is a broken home, and we can probably all relate to it. I mean, what is it? 3 out of 4 marriages in the world end up in separation or divorce, and it doesn't mean the 1% is happy either. So a lot of us come from broken homes, and we can relate that. It's still filled with love, these places, even though it's been broken down in times, and still colourful. And as I said, it was many times where we could relax. Still, there was probably someone looking over us, and we'll go have a look at that now. So that's all the secrets, pretty much, of this area here that I can help you with. So if we come down here, and we're going to go to the roof. And we'll start on this side. Is it here? No. So if we come up over to here, and again, we can connect to JB in the sky and thank him for guiding our path. If I can see the path. There we go. So, again, thank you JB for Jonathan Bloom for giving us something to connect. And all these puzzles in the entry area, they go to the town pillar, if you ever wondered. So let's go down and let's talk about some of the secrets that are to do with the audios now. So if we come over to this one, if you remember this audio device,
through many births, I have wandered on and on, searching for, but never finding, the builder of this house.
Okay, so basically that's from a Buddhist book called Dhammapada. Why does every Buddhist book sound like it belongs on the Muppet Show? Like, you know, remember that? Ba-ba, ba-ba-ba. It's like Dhammapada. Da-ba-ba-ba. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, so basically, that's the quote of I've forgotten now. The Buddha. Silly me. Yeah, it's a quote of the Buddha himself, just before enlightenment, saying that he was seeking the builder of this house. Now, when he said house, he actually means his own body, the house that's containing his soul, and he's failing to attain to enlightenment because he can't find. See, Buddhists believe that they are in this endless cycle of rebirths, and every time they do something wrong, they go back into a lesser life form with limited knowledge of their previous. So they constantly believe in reincarnation, and their objective is to gain enlightenment, and this is by finding the Creator, satisfying all the cravings of this world, and attaining enlightenment. And by that, they believe that they become a Buddha themselves, and then they move on from their existence. So you've got this very spiritualistic view, and that makes sense because if you remember, the mountain just kept bringing us back. So this is Jonathan Bloom's sort of idea of how many people perceive life, that we are just in this constant spiral, trying desperately to move forward to find the Creator. Again, you'll find this the pattern again on this. Okay. That will come out later on. So that's one. And ultimately, Christians don't believe that. Christians don't believe in reincarnation. They believe it's sort of one of the devil's lies, like the serpent said to Eve, you positively will not die, but you're bound to be like God. So reincarnation is kind of like that. You're not going to die. You just your idea is to eventually become like God. And so it's an interesting connection there. Okay, so I'm going to just go play this one and then I'm going to go back down and we'll talk about this one afterwards.
I am standing on the threshold about to enter a room. It is a complicated business. In the first place, I must shove against an atmosphere pressing with a force of 14 pounds on every square inch of my body. I must make sure of landing on a plank, traveling at 20 miles a second around the sun. A fraction of a second too early or too late, the plank would be miles away. I must do this whilst hanging from a round planet head outward into space and with a wind of ether blowing at no one knows how many miles a second through every interstice of my body. The plank has no solidity of substance. To step on it is like stepping on a swarm of flies. Shall I not slip through? No. If I make the venture, one of the flies hits me and gives me a boost up again. I fall again and am knocked upwards by another fly, and so on. I may hope that the net result will be that I remain about steady, but if, unfortunately, I should slip through the floor or be boosted too violently up to the ceiling, the occurrence would be not a violation of the laws of nature, but a rare coincidence. These are some of the minor difficulties. I ought really to look at the problem four-dimensionally as concerning the intersection of my world line with that of the plank. Then again, it is necessary to determine in which direction the entropy of the world is increasing in order to make sure that my passage of the threshold is an entrance, not an exit. Verily, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a scientific man to pass through a door. And whether the door be barn door or church door, it might be wiser that he should consent to be an ordinary man and walk in, rather than wait till all the difficulties involved in a really scientific ingress are resolved. Arthur Eddington, 1927.
Wow. I wish scientists and philosophers would speak, I don't know, Bob language. Just simple, everyday Bob language. Or maybe the Muppet language. Okay, so basically breaking it down. So Arthur Eddington was an astrophysicist, quite a famous one. He did get quite a few things wrong though, so he's not too well looked at as let's say Albert Einstein. Actually, he has a name Sir Arthur Adding 1 because he changed his ideas a couple times. Okay, so basically he's saying that there's, putting in real layman terms, that there's two tables. That there's a table of cognitive experience, everyday experience, and there's a table of the scientific world. But in essence, they're both of the same table. But sometimes if you look at the harmony of the world, the everyday, the scientific world that we cannot control, and all the facets that are involved, and our world, there seems to be a harmonious theme, a magical experience through it. And he quotes a Bible verse that's actually about rich people, where it was said that it's more likely a camel would get through a needle than a rich man getting into heaven. And he's making the same experience, that someone's not going to be able to, if they concentrate on the one table, they'll fail to see the same thing that an ordinary man may see. Now, the reason why that's there is because people that only see these puzzles here will not ever pass through the door to meet the Creator. and that's the interesting thing, that there's an outside puzzle to be solved. So that audio is a clue to this. Now, you might not know this, but there's actually a code that you can put in to actually back this door up. So I'm just going to put that in now so you can see what it looks like. There you go. And then if you wanted to, you can key that one at any time you want. So there's a bit of an interesting thing for you there. So you can see how it's going through the different outlooks of life and experience, and it's using them to help people with their gaming experience, while at the same time share the wide variety of thoughts, of inclinations, of the wanting to meet the creator, the designer, to the purpose, the meaning. We all need to make that connection. Oh, I forgot about another exploding puzzle here. So JB, we would like to thank you for providing water. And there we go. So that's an easy way of getting there. There are a few exploding puzzles on the boat area, but I'll do those later. Just one more thing we'll talk about. So if you come in here, you'll get another clue.
Of all the communities available to us, there's not one I would want to devote myself to, except for the Society of True Searchers, which has very few living members at any time. Albert Einstein, 1924.
Okay, so that's part of his letters to a mathematician called Maxim Hedwig Born. Basically, it's a little bit taken out of context in the fact of, so he was arguing about, I can't even remember what he was arguing about now, but he was realizing that his preconceptions were not being supported by his findings, and he's saying that regardless of all the different how did he put it? I can't even remember how he put it now. How did he put it? I'll have to play it again.
Of all the communities available to us,
communities.
There's no.
So, out of all the communities, the mathematics, the science, archaeology, he wasn't so postponed into one division as he was the passion for searching the truth. And even though his preconceptions was wrong at that particular time, he still considered himself a true searcher. Somebody that was really searching for the truth. And that's a profound statement. Just because someone's an evolutionist doesn't mean that they're a true searcher. And likewise, you can't say because someone's religious that they're not a true searcher. And that's the interesting. And even somebody that has preconceived ideas, really they may be a true searcher. Someone that is really searching for the truth. At the end of the day, who are we to say who is what? I can't judge if someone's a true searcher or not. All I can do is continue to search for the truth myself. And here we have the reason why that is there, which will come out later on. So I hope you enjoyed all the various little interesting tidbits and interesting parts of the witness. As we go next time, we will look at our schooling years. Until next time, bye for now.